Welcome to Home Cinema and Tech Review. In this video, I'm going to talk about why or when TVs are better than projectors. It's difficult for me to say as a projector daily using and projector and home cinema lover guy, and I tend to put projectors in front of TVs. But in this video, I'm going to talk something good about TVs, but let me just adjust the brightness of the projector from eco mode to dynamic. That makes sense. It becomes a TV. But beside the funny point of that you really can catch, even with the extreme lit condition, quite a bit of TV contrast if you have a good projector and ALR screen combination, TVs still have some positives against the projectors. First thing is first, everybody thinks about blacks. Yes, TVs tend to have mini LED, QLED, high-end models, and the OLED TVs have better black levels because they have dimmable or separate unit for each pixel. But for us, for projectors, we only have a proper surface and the projector, of course. So catching the perfect black is more difficult for a projector than a TV. Put that aside, you can't really catch the size of a projector with any TV. So you can easily go bigger than 100 inch, just a couple of inches movement. And I've already showed that in my other video, why projectors are better. The second thing is, you can really pixel, if you're a pixel peeper, like dive into the screen and take a look at the pixels, and we don't like that in the channel. But basically, if you're a kind of like that person, you probably see the pixels even if you have 4K projector, because if you get close to a huge screen, it will show you the pixels. So you have to go small. That's one of the advantages of the smaller TVs, because until certain amount of size, 4K TV could not, won't be showing you the pixels. Let's just say 65 or 75. Above the 75, if you're still in 4K, if you get close and pixel peep, you can see the pixels, because let's just face it, if you're using 4K monitors daily like me, I'm a designer, so professional photographer over 20 years. So I use 4K 4K monitors, and they're smaller than 42-inch, 43-inch TVs. So basically, I use 39-inch Xiaomi 4K 21:9 ratio, very wide monitor, and with the curve, single monitor setup with my laptop beside it. So basically, I can really see pixels when the same resolution just got increasing the size. But that's not the actual point of it. If you go back and sit where you should be sitting for that huge screen, you wouldn't be seeing the pixels. But again, if you're a pixel peeper, and if you go too big, you can see pixels. And one other thing is, many of the TVs have better speakers. When we are talking about better speakers, something like this Epson LS300 and my earlier Xiaomi Ultra Short Throw 4K laser projector, they tend to have good Bluetooth speaker style, like maybe not like big like this one, but definitely you can have 30 to 50 watt range of power from with the good bass, like brands like in this case for Epson, Yamaha, and for other brands like Bang & Olufsen and Bose style, different brands creates pretty good sound setups for the projectors. But basically, if we're talking about entry-level or mid-level long throw projectors, you're going to have something like 5 or 10 watt mono output, not even a stereo, because most of the time projectors tend to be designed to be used with a separate sound system, because they think you're going to use it as a cinema setup. But these days things are changing, so they are catching each other. LED or laser long throw projectors tend to have 30-50 watt power outputs to be used as a daily TV style. So that gap is closing, but still, if you're buying a mid-level or high-level TV, you're going to get probably better audio from your TV than a regular projector. But that's not a minus in my opinion. because you can enjoy the great big picture with the big sound. So you're going to add probably a sound bar, or at least something like I've created here, which is more portable and you can use it with any device. So if you're wondering that setup, you can go back and check my Anker Soundcore dual speaker setup, and you can increase this quantity of the speakers. You can create 4 speaker setup and add small sound cores at the back. So you can go back and watch my other video. One more thing is about gaming. When we're talking about gaming, TVs are tend to mid-level LED, mid-level QLED or mini LED style TVs tend to catch 120 Hz, 144 Hz level, and some of them has FreeSync like QLEDs and mini LEDs. And if you are buying an LG OLED, you probably have also G-Sync technology too. So if you're a gamer, true gamer, like a fast-paced game like first-person shooters and racing games, where the milliseconds are truly matter for your performance, if you're a true professional level gamer, a high level gamer, you can definitely enjoy on the TV modes as well, but more than projectors. That's also where the TVs are really shining these days. But don't forget about it. There are some other projectors other than this one I've already reviewed in the channel and showed it many times probably. My early projector, right now I'm using at the office, Optoma UHD35, and it was a gaming DLP projector with 4K resolution, 60p. But if you put it in a full HD mode, it becomes like a 240 Hz and 4.2 milliseconds. Pretty good game playable projector, so that way you can enjoy. But when you compare to a TV with the 1 or 2 milliseconds and 144 Hz all the time with the 4K, you're not going to probably easily match that out. But in upcoming years, with 8K resolution projectors comes more easily or more approachable by the price, you're going to enjoy the big screen. And if you lower the resolution, you can probably catch the refresh rates and latencies and stuff. But definitely in 2023, and right now we are in 2024, you're going to have better options when thinking about the gaming. But the most important part is, let's just face it, if you're a competitive gaming and you're playing FPS games other than your console with your PC or your laptop connected to the TV, everybody talks about 24 to 27 inch is the best for your eyesight to capture everything in the screen in the same time. If you play competitive games, you don't want too extreme big size image because you have to process all that image and you have to move your cursor according to that image. Yes, you can adjust your setup, your mouse and keyboard, but it's not going to affect the ideal way to get the best performance for a professional level gamer. So going small like 43-inch TV might be an option when you get close. It could be like a monitor style, so you can see the screen, just going a little bit back than a regular PC level of table setup. That could be an option. But if you're a casual gamer or third-person game user, you're not going to find the perfection of the big screen from a projector with any TV, because the real life humans and real life cars, just like in this video, won't be showing itself to you with a TV. But again, TV wins in the gameplay. What else that we have? Most of the TVs have 3 and 4 HDMI ports, and new generation OLED QLED mini LED TVs tend to have more HDMI 2.0, 2.0, 2.1 and HDMI ARC style connections. But many of the projectors, if we're talking about the long throw, they most of the time have 2. And if you're by like entry level, they have 1 HDMI port. Keep things simple. So if you go below $500 for a bulb, high brightness level Epson, ViewSonic, Optoma kind of like projectors, you're going to probably have 1 HDMI up top too. So, and in this way, if the connectivity is an issue, like you have to connect some stuff, then TV still wins. One more thing, if you're going to use the projector as a TV, you have to connect it to the satellite and cable unit. For that, you need to have a receiver built in inside. Not many of the projectors still built in TV style receiver inside, so you have to add a box like this. I have underneath a box like this. I connect it Right now, I can play TV, and I'm using this as a TV unit. So I'm using with a separate box. That means I either need to use a remote, extra remote, or at least I will show you later in the reviews, sofa Beton style single remote to control everything. But at least you're going to add another device, and it will become little bulky. But if you're going to fix your projector to a ceiling or any kind of like mount setup like mine, you're not going to move back and forth too much. That's not a minus too much of a minus point. But if you're just idealizing everything, just everything should be look like a proper MacBook style, slim, slick everywhere. So you don't want any clutter, any extra unit, any hardware around the house, just simplistic as possible. So then still TV wins in that situation, because if you're not going to buy some of the Samsung and LG ultra short throw models, you're not going to find probably a TV built-in satellite unit inside of the projector. And let's just say another thing. Many of the projectors, when we're talking about the long throw big ones, bulb style projectors, companies tend to start to add Android and smart dongle functions to that devices, but still a lot of devices still don't have pretty much smart functions that you desire for your probable TV setup kind of like experience. So you're going to have to add a dongle to them. Right now, my Epson has a pretty good 4K supporting Android built inside. Even though this projector is full HD, it has 4K YouTube playable and pretty fast CPU and GPU combination inside, and Google TV inside. So I can play wherever I want. I can connect my hard drive and offline files with the VLC player and Plex kind of like external drive setup in the same network. I can play a lot of things. But this is something a little bit more expensive level of product. So if you buy a long throw projector, again, TV most of the time beats with the smart functions for when it comes down to the projector versus TV. TV still lots of the time wins. One other thing is on the side view. If you don't have a screen like this, Vivid Storm ALR or professional ALR level screens, for me right now I can watch it from right here. But for the many TVs, majority of TVs, if you're going from mid-level to high level, you can probably have better angles if you don't have a screen like this for a projector. Because when you get this screen down, you're going to regret the rest of the lights will bounce. And I've showed it in the channel. Let me just hit the button. Right now the room is lit. Although screen size is increasing, as you can see, picture just falls apart when it comes down to the contrast. And also what we are lacking is your wall texture could be seeable if you're going to sit closer. So your paint coating and the final touches of your paint or your wall is pretty important if you're going to directly project to the wall. But other than that, if you don't have a screen, the projector still fails to catch. But if you have a screen like this, then projector tend to get a better image, because most of the time TVs tend to reflect what's inside of the room. If you have a light like this, your TV probably reflect. If you don't have a matte Samsung TV or new extra matte TVs, you're going to have the reflection. And if you have curtains like this and in the sunlight, sunny day, normally I don't see any reflection with this, because this is like ambient light rejection screen, right? So the ambient light cannot be reflected, but it will decrease. If I open everything, it can decrease a little bit of my contrast, but still I don't get any reflection. This acts like a matte TV with the projector and the ALR screen combination. But still, TV reflects everything. That doesn't mean TV is bad. Still, TV is for side angles. If you don't have a screen, TV is better. If you have a screen, well, you have to see it by yourself. It also depends too much of a TV. Even the brand new 2022, 2023, up to entry level to mid-level TVs, I purchased for my mom and dad, like an LG, and side angle is still bad. Like when you go VA panel, okay, not IPS, VA panel, not OLED. We are not talking about the high-end mini LED style TVs. If you go sideways, colors just change for a lot of TVs. So it is debatable. I'm not saying TV is bad or projector is good, but it is debatable depending on your setup. But with any projector, not like this, not expensive projector, any projector, you can catch pretty good viewing angle with the LR screens. So what else TVs are good about? TVs are thinner. So if you don't have space as depth with your unit, or for the screen right now, I need to have around 15 centimeters, 16 centimeter depth to put my Vivid Storm ALR screen. If you have just a couple of finger space, like 4 to 5 centimeter space, TV will fit that space as a depth. But again, projector has to have, if you're going to install this motorized tension floor rising screens. But if you're going to go with a fixed screen, then you might be able to handle it. And one more thing, TVs tend to have narrower legs. Like, it depends on your, of course, TV size. But if you buy a TV, you know where you put your TV on those TV stand. TVs tend to have like legs going back and forth, like triangles, to separate the weight to the TV unit. So most of the time legs are like this, and probably the distance is 35, up top 35 centimeters for many TVs. But if you have like big custom legs or curved legs, that might change. And also it's about your TV size. If you buy a 98-inch TV, most of the time you mount it on a wall. Many of them doesn't come with a leg sometimes, like you always have to mount it on a wall. But if you're buying a TV 65 inch, 75 inch, and 75 and below, your TV legs will be right inside of probably 80 to 90%, maybe 95% of many TV units. But if you buy an ultra short throw projector like this, it's very hard to fit inside of a TV unit with the distance that you need. So you need to have a dedicated unit, TV unit, just to make sure you're going to get the perfect size, or a movable stand underneath it, or if you're going to expand it like me, at least another unit that combines with your TV unit, like a small table. So if you don't have those, you might not be able to put it on an ideal place. Like my ultra short throw Xiaomi was throwing a little shorter ratio than my Epson. The obvious thing is this is way better projector than the Xiaomi, but definitely one thing is important. I was catching the image size that I desire, 92-inch for this screen. Look how big it is. And right now you're seeing some spaces, because if I move it back and height, I need to adjust the height of my screen. I haven't yet. So you need to have some space. That's a fact. So still, TVs, if you're going to put it on TV unit, will be easier to apply on any TV unit. But one more thing, if you have kids and if they hit the TV will broke very fast. But the projectors are quite sturdy, even if you hit it with full power. Even if you're an adult, with full power, these things are rock solid. And if you close the screen, I mentioned in the why the projectors are better video, but I'm going to quote to that. So if you close this, you're going to left with the wall, and kids cannot hurt the wall with any ball or anything they hit to the wall. So basically, TV, again, for TV unit placements are better. But what else that you have? TVs. You can mount it on a wall as a TV, right? We talked about it, but you need to put holes to the wall. But for the projector, you don't need to put holes to the walls. You can use it without hurting the space. So that might be positive for the projector, again, negative for the TV. But for the purpose of video, I'm not going to focus too much of negativities of the TV. What else that we really can think about the TVs are better for? Let's just see. Focus, of course. Projectors tend to have to focus to the screen. So you need the optical element to move back and forth. But for the TVs, there is no focus unit, like everything, of course, sharp with the panel, directly giving you the visual quality. So focus, uniformity image uniformity from one corner to another corner is kind of like problem with the cheaper you go with the projectors. TVs don't have the focus problem cheaper you go. Most of the time TVs have failed the viewing angle. Like when you move, you don't see anything with bad TVs. And when you move, the color shifts pretty ugly with many cheap TVs. But with the projectors, if you are talking about ultra short throws, focus uniformity and image uniformity general, it depends on the optical quality. If you buy something like this qualified, then you're not going to probably have any problems. And if you have a long throw, they are more forgiving if you're buying a proper known brand with the good optics. So you can really get away with the focus uniformity with good lens projector. But if you go cheap, focus might be a problem, and I've created dedicated video for that problem depending on your eye health. And don't go cheap with the projectors to not to hurt your eye health. That's another stuff that TVs not fail, but TVs, like I told you, if you go cheap, TVs fails different ways, projectors fails different ways. One more thing, people think about the TV's life cycle is longer than projectors. Well, this debatable. This is a debatable stuff, but most of the time, this could be on the positive for the TV side of things. But when you're talking about the projectors, many of the new LED projectors or lasers like this, 30,000 hours of LED life. So that means it's going to probably last around 15 to 20 years, and probably you're going to change the hardware along the way and sell it and get a brand new one, because many of the TV owners also change their TVs around 8 years, 5 to 8 years, because of the software, because of they want to upgrade. If you're a tech enthusiast, if you're a middle-aged person and you don't want to invest your TV, then that's okay. You can live up tens of years and plus years, no problem. But one more thing that is confusing for people, bulb projectors, everybody thinks they have short life cycle, but new bulb projectors tend to have 10,000 and above life cycles, like 15,000, with lamp cost about $50. So the cost is, even with the bulb projectors, are lower than you think, and the life cycle of the projector is really close to a TV actually, if you keep them clean as much as possible. And what else? That's a misunderstanding, and probably the fixed ideas. People that just think TVs are long livable than the projectors. Nowadays, it's changing with the LEDs, lasers, and also new generation bulb style projectors. One more thing can be confusing. I did an early video with my 65-inch, 5 or 7-year-old 4K Philips Hue TV, and it was consuming more power than my Optoma UHD 35 4K projector. And the image quality of the Optoma, I would prefer with a bigger screen from that TV. TV was quite good with the sound setup. You can go back and check my old videos. But definitely one thing is clear. Projectors are getting more efficient than you guys are thinking. So the power consumption less than a TV with much bigger screen, with same resolution, with 240 and 4.2 milliseconds, 240 hertz for gaming. That's crazy stuff. So that's a misconception. But one thing is missing. If you go cheap, buying a cheap big TV instead of expensive big TV, you probably don't care about the energy efficiency. So you have to look up how much energy you are spending. It depends from brand to brand, model to model, but you guys are probably not looking to that. You're just looking at the screen. So you have to also check to that. There's not a plus and minus for TV and the projector in that area, I guess. So it depends on what you choose. So what else do we have positive for TV? I'm just trying to push as hard as I can. What could be more positive with the TV? Well, I guess I finished. I don't have too much of a things to say, but if you just find stuff to add on to this, you can maybe add 2 or 3 things to the setup, like better network connection, possible. Optical outputs most of the TVs these days have. And most of the TVs tend to work with HDMI ARC and sound bars, more compatible than a lot of the long throw projectors. They open with the single remote and the sound system automatically works, and etc. And I guess that's about it. Other than that, in the end of the video, again, I want to remind you, I shot another video why the projectors are better. And the reasons are obvious. Like me, if you're into the big screen, you can't beat the projector with a TV. And the projectors are getting brighter, more contrast, more powerful, better software, and everything is better, getting better. And take a look at this. I can take this projector and put it anywhere. So it's more portable, easy to replace, easy to sell in the second hand. Because if you're going to throw the box of the TV and stuff, it's going to be more difficult. So watch my other video, why the projectors are better. So you have to decide for yourself what kind of a person you are. Are you a true gamer and professional level gamer, or you're going to casually play console games with a huge screen with a big and quality picture? And you can even increase the size or decrease the size if you go closer. I shot every kind of tutorial for you. So if you go like 75-inch with the same setup, you're going to have double, maybe even triple the contrast and the brightness levels of projectors. So it's up to you, whether the TV or the projector. For me, it is basically projector first, then the TV later on. In the end of the video, all I can say is, if you're going to have more than one TV in your home, okay, 2 TVs, let's just go 2 TVs, I would probably go 1 TV for living room or the kids room or the kitchen, and the second casual enjoyable setup would be again projector for me, like this setup, because I have right now 43-inch 4K LG TV, probably 5 or 6 years old, maybe even more, but it's HDR and a pretty good TV. Even these days, it still looks great. And I'm enjoying it for daily setups like TV, news and stuff. And I am working all day long and I watch the projector setup, like this TV setup. I also use it as a TV. I enjoy it because I am using it, let's just say after 8 or 9 when my kids are in sleep, or even later hours. So think about it. Tell me what you think at the comment section below, because YouTube loves comments, and I hope you find this video informational and useful for you. And I hope to see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because this is after 12 o'clock, late at night. This is right now 15 past 1. So help me out to grow the channel together, and ask questions, because your questions are becoming my tutorials, and I'd like to share information as much as possible. Hope to see you in the next video, Home Cinema and Tech Review.